What's up, guys? Good morning, and shout out to all my citronella fellas out there putting in work. Let's go. All right, today we got the Brooks Hyperion 2 in for a first run review. What do you think I'm going to do? Having a good morning. How about you? All right, this is just getting off to complete shenanigans. 19 seconds in. We got the Hyperion 2. This is a lower stack, speed-oriented daily trainer or speed training shoe. There's no plate in there. It's going to give us a little bit more connection to the ground. It's going to give us a little bit more zing and zoom, potentially, right? And my main question with this review I want to answer today is, here's the thing. I'm sure the shoe is going to be fine to good to great, maybe. I don't think it's going to be horrible. I don't think it's going to blow my mind away. It's going to be it's going to be somewhere in a 5 to 8 range, potentially. However, the three shoes that I brought out here this morning, very strategic. Very strategic. So we have the Hyperion Max. This is the older version of the Hyperion Max. This is the Hyperion Max 1. And with this entire generation of new Hyperion shoes, Brooks is bumping up the stack height. So my question I want to answer is, should you just get the old Hyperion? We have the SL2. This is the reigning champ right now for me in this lower speed-oriented category. $140, you get a lot of race foam, and it's a nice, soft, forgiving ride. Can it beat out the SL2? Probably not. And then we have the Super Blast, right? This is a little bit of a wild card. But the reason I brought the Super Blast out here is because, man, the mileage that I'm running right now, 25 miles per week, and 100 miles per week, and I'm running 20 to 25 miles per day on my workout days. Is there still a place in a high mileage training rotation for a shoe like the Hyperion 2? Or would we be better served by the Super Blast or Topo Spectre 2 or Brooks Hyperion Max, whatever it is in this slot here? But Super Blast is top of the heap right now, and the Super Blast 2 is coming out, and use my Running Warehouse link to buy it if you're going to buy it. I know you're going to buy it no matter what I say, so just use my Running Warehouse link. So that's the frame for the conversation today. Does this shoe still have a place in the market? Can it beat the reigning champ? And do we need these lower stack shoes, or should we just go for the behemoths for marathon training? All right, guys, let's get into it. Shout out to Brooks, man. Brooks sent me this Hyperion 2. They also sent me the Ghost Max 2 out there putting work. And I know we make fun of Brooks a lot because Warren Buffett owns them and their shoes are like the Toyota Camry of running shoes. But they have had a lot of good shoes recently. The Ghost Max 2 is great. I did the video on it yesterday. Make sure to watch that. And you can just skip to the end and watch the training Q&A if you want. But I'm proud of that training Q&A, and it was really fun to do, and thank you for all your questions, so go watch that if you have not. Anyway, the other reason I love Brooks is their motto, run happy. That's a great motto. I can vibe with that. So with that, guys, let's open up this box. So yeah, as I mentioned here, this Hyperion 2, and by the way, there's a GTS version of this. It's a stability version, go-to support, so that might be one of the best lower stack or just in general stability speed training shoes. But very similar. 10.5 men's. I don't want to see the colorway. I don't want to see the colorway on the side of the box. But my main thing is, dude, this shoe is sitting out there, Hyperion Max, and I did not love this shoe, but this is sitting out there on the market right now for, I don't know, maybe $70, $90 at Dick's, and if Running Warehouse has any availability, I'll check and let you know who has availability, and I'll put my link below if they do, but this is sitting out there for under $100 right now. And with the changes that they made to the Hyperion Max 2, it went up a lot in stack and they added the plastic plate. So now this guy here is filling the slot of what this used to do. So I'm curious how these two compare and if it's a better deal. If you're looking for a lower stack, slightly firmer shoe, which a lot of the Brooks shoes, let me tell you, are slightly firmer, at least compared to their competitors. And the Ghost Max 2 is actually really good. That is a great daily trainer, a great protective cushion shoe, a great shoe for just chewing up some mileage. It's not super firm, but it's also not super soft. It's right in that nice zone. But it was firmer. It was also punishing for me at times, being more of a heel clunker, right? Just heel clunking my way through 100 miles a week. This kind of cutout here, I think it's called a heel bevel. That's what all my real DPTs out there say. Hey, put your hands up in the air if you're a real DPT. Yeah, everybody say yeah. You see, these are the insights you don't get from the DPTs. All right, where is I going with this? Yeah, it could be punishing for heel clunkers like me because of the way this heel cuts out. If you look at where the back of the shoe ends, right here, there's not too much foam underneath the heel. So it really encouraged a mid to forefoot landing, which worked great for some people. The rocker was nice, but it was not the most forgiving ride. All right, let's open this thing up. Brooks Hyperion 2. I have no idea what colorway they sent me. They do have some fire colorways of this. They have that red-orange gradient in the Hyperion Max. They have an all-white. They have a blue and pink. Let's see. You guys know what the colorway is because it's on the thumbnail, but I do not. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, more anticipation. All right. We got the same colorway that we have in the other shoe, the Hyperion Max. So it's going to be a little bit confusing. Maybe should I put in the thumbnail not the Max? Brooks Hyperion 2 not Max first run review? But regardless, it looks pretty clean. This is a sick colorway. I love this white and orange look. I mean, just look at this thing, right? You got the nice tangerine with the red. The upper is clean. And by the way, the upper on the Hyperion Max 2 was one of the best uppers of the year. And it looks like we're getting a similar thing here. But the thing is, this is only $140 versus that shoe was $180. So that's a big difference between this and the Hyperion Max 2. You get a little bit less foam in here, or a lot of bit less foam in here than the Hyperion Max 2. And no plate. But look at this. It does feel, from the push test here, pushing it in, it does feel softer than the old version of the Hyperion Max. So let's do a little comparison of these side by side. All right. So yeah, very similar stack height, similar width, a little bit of a softer foam, and it is a different foam. This is the DNA Flash. Let's see if they say it here. Oh, they don't have a number. Regardless, it's an updated version of the Brooks's racing foam. It is not the polyether block amide that all the chemical engineers out there are so excited about. All those chemical engineers putting down some fast miles in their Piva shoes. But yeah, it's an EVA and TPEE blend, and people get all up in arms about it's not a Piva. Bro, I don't care. You got to focus on the people, not the Piva. Regardless, man, the Brooks foams are a little bit on the firmer side and not as bouncy as some of the other racing foams, but I actually enjoyed the Brooks racing shoe, and I have to get some more miles. And I always say this whenever I review a Brooks shoe, I have to get some more miles in the shoes. And then I don't do it because, I don't know. People aren't that interested in the Brooks shoes because of their reputation, which is changing a little bit. And this was the first shoe, the Hyperion Max, that came out, was it last year or the year before, that started changing the narrative that Brooks is making some exciting shoes. This got a lot of people's attention. It's not a glycerin. It's not a ghost. It's different. It looks fast. It feels fast. It was a great ride, other than the fact that it was a little bit on the firmer side and kind of punishing for heel strikers. But I did have some great runs in this thing. Just didn't work quite well for my mechanics. And it looks like some of the issues that I had with the Hyperion Max are now changed in the Hyperion 2. They filled in that heel bevel, or that issue that we had here. And let's see if we can compare these side by side. You can see, look how aggressively that cuts down here. They filled that in on the Hyperion 2, so it's no longer as aggressive. And now, I know this is the Hyperion 2, this Hyperion Max 2, but again, I should reiterate, this is really taking the spot in the lineup of the old Hyperion Max because of the changes that they made to the Max going up in stack height. So if you liked the last version of the Hyperion that was super low, go get the Ultra Escalante. I think that's going to be your best bet because there's not really anything like that anymore in the Brooks lineup. Go get some Vibram 5 fingers, bro. When they're putting in work with the Barefoot Mafia. What's your favorite Juicy J ad-lib? We Tribby, man. I can't really do any of the other ones. None of them are appropriate. What's your favorite Juicy J song? You guys ever heard the Everyday Wiz Khalifa feat Juicy J? Get up, foreign cars, that's every day. Then he has that line, what's that? My mansion's sitting on 40 acres. Who the neighbors? Kobe Bryant from the Lakers. Now that's paper. R.P. Kobe. Juicy J putting in work. Should we do the weigh-in? Foreign cars. That's every day. All right, so Hyperion 2, weighing this guy in. Before I put this on the scale, I'm telling you, this is a light shoe. It feels light. When I picked up the box, setting everything up out here, and I took it from my office out here, I said, wow, this is one of the lightest shipping boxes with shoes inside that I've ever felt. So this is going to be light. I can tell you that right now. Let's go. Bang. That is extremely light. 213.5 grams. A little context here. Saucony Endorphin Elite. 220 grams. New Balance Rebel V4. 220 grams. Nike Vaporfly 3. 207 grams. So this is roughly the same weight as a Vaporfly. To give you some context, and it's a low shoe, but it's not, I mean, you still get, just looking at it, you still get some decent protection in the forefoot. I'm sure we'll get some ground feel, but this is not a barefoot shoe by any means. So 213 grams for a training shoe, this is going to feel light on foot. But again, it's all about context. It's all about, what is it all about? Is it about Juicy J? I think today's video is all about Juicy J. We chirpy my. It's all about the trade-offs. That's what I was going to say. It's all about the trade-offs. So it's not a barefoot shoe, but it's also not as stacked as any of these other shoes out here that I brought. And that's really the main question with the Hyperion 2. So let's compare it to the Hyperion Max 1, 225. So pretty similar. This guy is a little bit heavier. I'm actually not sure of the stack heights between these two, and I'll do a head-to-head real quick just so we can see how they feel on foot, but they look pretty similar. You maybe get I'm not even going to guess what the stack height is, but you look pretty similar, and I got to say, the design, the way that they've evolved the design is nice. This one takes the cake for look for sure. You just got, this one's doing too much. All right, SL2, let's throw this guy on the scale. This is my favorite lightweight, or just not even lightweight, but do-it-all kind of speed-oriented shoe. This comes in at 260 grams, so a lot heavier than the Hyperion 2. You also do get a little bit more stack, and this just gives me more of that workhorse vibe versus the Hyperion really does have this speed training low vibe. It's a little bit narrower. You get a little bit less rubber. The rubber isn't as thick. I do have to say this new version of Brooks rubber is super grippy, so I'm excited to see how this does in the rain if we have a chance to take it out in the rain. And then look, they almost did this is the first time I've seen this. Look, they did a pseudo, we have a plate window cutout here. There's no plate, but they still said, hey, we want to make it look like we have a plate, so we're going to carve that out here. That's kind of silly. But yeah, Adidas is the SL2 going to give you a little bit more protection. It feels more like a workhorse. This is a very fun shoe. I highly recommend this if you're looking for a daily shoe, a do-it-all shoe that's not going to break the bank. $130. It's cheaper than the Hyperion. Why is it upside down here? It's been drinking too much of that Juicy J juice, if you know what I mean. It's trippy, man. This guy is also softer. So where most of the market is heading and where most consumer tastes and preferences are heading is in the direction of the SL2. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to like this one over the Max or the Hyperion, but we're going to have to put the miles in to see. Maybe I'm sleeping on it. Maybe it's going to completely blow me away. And then last, I wanted to bring out the Super Blast because this is a shoe that I did not love the Super Blast 1, but a lot of people love it because it escapes the trade-offs that I talk about because it is protective, but it still remains lightweight, and you can run fast in it. It's not like the New Balance 1080 where it's protective, but it's kind of like running in mud sometimes because it's so soft. It's not like the Skyward X, which is super bouncy, but a little bit heavier. You get a lot of this race foam, and it's light. Now, I didn't love the feeling of this foam and felt like I was kind of fighting against it. So I did get I got the Super Blast 2. It'll be coming in whenever Running Warehouse sends out that latest batch. So if you want to buy it, you'll get it at the same time as I do, and we can put in miles together. But I'm hoping that one is a little bit better. I got it in a half size smaller. I've also heard it is a slight improvement. But the reason I brought this out is because, man, if you just take a look at these two shoes, you can see how much more cushion you're getting out of the Super Blast. And I just think for a lot of us out there, depending on where we are in our training cycle, it might make more sense to run in a shoe like the Super Blast or the Boston 12 or the Topo Spectre 2 for our speed workouts versus the Hyperion. And this is anecdotal. This is completely anecdotal. I don't need to have the anti-carbon county degenerates out here in my mentions talk about carbon is bad or high stack shoes are bad. There's no research that indicates any shoe is bad. It's good to mix it up. And there's no research to indicate yet that running in a Super Blast or a 1080 or a More V5 or a Spectre 2 or whatever it is prevents injury. But anecdotally, from my own experience, I can tell you, I feel a lot more confident mashing some 540 pace at the end of a workout in a shoe like the Topo Spectre 2 or even the SL2 or any race shoe. I feel a lot more confident throwing down fast pace when I'm tired in one of these types of shoes versus the New Balance Rebel V4. And so there's nothing out there that confirms that, hey, you're going to get injured more if you run low stack shoes or but it just feels better to me. Maybe it's psychological, but I can tell you right now, I would not be running 100 miles a week without the technology that we have in shoes like the SL2 and the Super Blast with the race foams and the protection and the plates and the rocker geometries that make it so easy to run and also that make it more exciting to run. And I think the benefit of these shoes sometimes is people like the idea of challenging themselves and feeling connected to the ground, and I like that as well. It's just I don't always want to have that ground feel. Sometimes I do just want to cruise in comfort, especially when I'm really pushing the volume and intensity. So that is my take on the stack, and the plates go into the same category. All the technology that helps with speed and making it a little bit easier to run. All right, 265 grams in the Super Blast, really similar to the SL2. This is a size 11 versus a 10.5, but again, you get a lot of stack in here at a lightweight, and it's a decently good shoe to run fast in. I didn't love it. It was okay, and I didn't like it as much as other people did. But my point here is, if you have the Super Blast or the Boston or the Speed 4, do you still need this shoe? That's my question. Let's find out. Hold on. I forgot the QA check. All right, other shoe, 216.5. What was it? 213.5 on the other one. A little bit of variation. Yeah, 214. Oh, that's not bad. 2.5 grams. That's okay. All right, let's get these on foot. Good job, Citronella. This is a Larry June approved colorway with the orange. Good job, Brooks. Good job, Nikhil. Numbers. All right. Slipping my foot into the Hyperion 2. Good upper. Again. Good upper. Ooh, good up. And we have a little bit of a... Should I do it? Offset! We have a little bit of an offset lacing system. I did not even notice that. Yeah, it slips off to the side a little bit. It's not completely straight up. It's slanted a little bit. Straight up! Live flat. Man, I wish I could use these ad-libs. That would be sick. Should I just start dropping Travis Scott and offset ad-libs on my song? You gotta get some yeet up in here too to appease Gen Z. Some yeet and some Ian. Alright, so we got the left one on. Let me put on the Hyperion Max really quickly. Might have to do a little bit of a jog test or at least a walk test so I can see the differences between these two. Ooh. Okay, so the Hyperion Max feels a little bit more rockered in the front. Feels a tiny bit more protective in the forefoot here. And it also has that heel, that really aggressive heel feeling. I'm not getting that in the Hyperion, so that's nice. I do think the standard Hyperion, this is going to be a lot better for heel strikers. So if you want that lower stack, more protective feel. And by the way, my whole discussion here about stack, this is applicable really if you are running high mileage. If you are running a few times per week, I would not worry about everything I'm saying about protection and all this. Just get the shoe that you're excited about running in a few times per week. But when you're starting to push running every day, that's when it's good to have a rotation of shoes and to really think about what shoes you enjoy running in a lot that also work well for your mechanics and match the different types of runs that you will be doing. All right, a little walk test. Yeah, these do not feel too different. Just walking around here. Both feel firmer. Both have a nice forefoot rocker. The Hyperion 2 does have a little bit more of a filled in heel, but not too different. These are two very similar shoes. So if you're looking for the Hyperion Max 2 replacement, I'm guessing that the Hyperion is gonna be okay. Let's do a little jog test. This jog test is brought to you by hobbyjogger.com in partnership with We Trippy Main Productions, the Brooks Hyperion 2 in the Brooks Hyperion Max. Yeah, this is noticeably softer on this little jog test here. So much softer. Felt a little bit bouncier at this relaxed jog here. This felt harsh and punishing, and I'm remembering my relationship with the shoe, which is that it was good when I was just mashing and throwing down some pace, but for everything else, it was just harsh, rough, and punishing. So this was not a shoe that fit well into my high mileage training system because I like versatile shoes. This one actually might be a little bit better, even though it's not the most protective and it felt a little bit lower to the ground than this, but because you get more of a cushioned feel with the softness of the foam, and just look at as I push this in here, I can actually push this in the new foam. The old foam, well, I can actually push it. It just, man, this foam, it is one of the firmest training foams out there. It is not cushioned at all. This doesn't seem like it's gonna, the new one, the Hyperion 2, doesn't seem like it's gonna be super firm out there, which is nice. So, plan for this run, we're gonna get in 10 miles. 10 miles out here at whatever pace comes today. Let's lace it up and get into it. Good job, DNA Flash V3. Let's go. Hee hee, you're doing good. I'm practicing, okay? I'm practicing. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about, but you're gonna know what I'm talking about soon, right? Numbers. Today is another, yesterday was a recovery day. We got 12 miles. Any day where I'm not doing a workout, I am now considering a recovery day. All I am focused on right now is executing on my big workout days, Wednesday and Sunday. So if it's not a big workout day, it's about recovery. So we have 10 miles. We'll see. Whatever pace comes, could be 7:10, could be 8:10, could be 8:40. So we'll be testing these from the standpoint of a daily trainer. And I also might throw some strides in there, depending on how I'm feeling, to just test these with some little faster reps of speed, because of course, these are a speed-oriented everyday shoe. But just in terms of the feel, I know I talked a little bit more about the feel, but I need to talk about the fit too. First of all, fit. Good, go true to size. I don't have any issues with rubbing so far. Maybe it's a little bit narrow, but nice upper, good room. But in terms of the underfoot feel, it's nice. There's some shoes, and I cranked this down a little bit too tight. There's some shoes where you put them on and it doesn't quite feel right. That's not this. That's not these shoes. And Brooks does a good job of making shoes where you put it on and it feels good. I think there's some brands like On who could work on that. Their uppers are like on that Cloud Boom Strike. Their upper is a little baggy. On the Cloud Monster Hyper is a little baggy. trying to think, Saucony as well has some issues. Nike, the Pegasus was very narrow. But I mean, Adidas, Brooks, Hoka. Those are a few of the brands that, man, these shoes you just put on and they feel good. They feel good. Asics too does a good job with that. All their shoes tend to fit my foot pretty well and just have nice dialed in uppers. All right, 10 miles. Let's do it. All right, 17 steps into running in the Hyperion 2. And I think I might have been disrespectfully underrating this shoe's capabilities and what this thing is all about. Man, Brooks Hyperion 2 said, put some respect on my name. By the way, speaking of putting respect on people's names, shout out to Simone Biles, an absolute beast. Talk about goat. So first, she was struggling, right? She had, what do they call them? The wobbles? Forget what the word is. But she was struggling for a while. Then she came back. One of the oldest Olympians, the oldest women's gymnast since the mid 20th century. And after they won the first event, the team, she put up a post. Bunch of lazy Olympic champions. Lazy, talentless Olympic champions. Because that's what some other washed lady was accusing him of. That's what I'm saying. You gotta be petty sometimes if you want to be a beast. And then yesterday, she popped up on him with the goat necklace after winning gold. And shout out to Simone Biles. That's a beast. That's a master class in how to be a boss. Put in the work, keep it quiet, then you blow up and you stunt on all the haters and the doubters. All right, early overreaction to the Hyperion 2. Softer than I expected, for sure. This is not a soft shoe, but it's nowhere near as firm as the Hyperion Max. It also has just enough cushion to feel like a daily. This is what I was expecting out of the Saucony ride in the Nike Pegasus. So that's kind of where this is my early overreaction. This is a low stack, lightweight workhorse. Way more protective than something like the Cyclone 2. It's not as bouncy as maybe, actually it is pretty bouncy. Yeah, I don't want to underrate this yet. My early overreaction is this is a good shoe, way better than I thought, softer than I thought, more pop than I thought. And it's encouraging me to put some pep in my step today. The lightweight combined with this race foam, super nice. And even though this is not a polyether block amide, it still is a race foam. We still have Josh Kerr setting world records or winning medals in this foam. So yes, it's not polyether block amide, Chad 796, but it is a race foam. And the best of the best use this foam to compete. So man, little leg check. I'm actually feeling better than I thought today. And we only have 10 miles with a single run day, so I might be able to push the pace a little bit at the end. We'll see. Last thing I'll say is I'm thinking Mach 5. That's also what this has given me. Not necessarily the ride experience, but the use case. Lighter weight, daily. Probably not going to use it for 2-hour long runs, but for a little bit of pop and pep, good comfort, good little bounce. Yeah, a little bit of a firmer but lighter Mach 5. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, guys, we're not even mile 1, but I think we might be coming with a clickbait title today. Once every 2 to 3 months, I gotta pop out with a clickbait to get people to watch a video about a random shoe, like we did with the 860. This might be going in the 860 clickbait camp, because this thing is a banger. Man, I'm at 0.8 miles. I'm telling you right now, this is an absolute banger. Banger. Have you guys heard the Jakob Ingebrigtsen song? All the Ingebrigtsen brothers, they did a song for Norway for the Olympics. They're frolicking in a field, you know, some 3 inchers and Norwegian varsity jackets. And Josh Kerr is gonna be mad that I brought up Ingebrigtsen's name in a Brooks video, huh? Are you team Kerr or team Ingebrigtsen? Let me know. Let me know. We're almost at mile 2, and I am flying for a daily pace. I'm not gonna check my watch. I'm just gonna rock and roll. Just whatever comes today, whatever is whatever comes. But man, this is the benefit of the way I title videos. I don't think about it. I just say first run review this, long run that, double day that. So if I'm coming with the clickbait, bro, you know it's real. This is a heater. Man, I called the Hyperion Max to some fire breathing dragons. This is a fire breathing dragon right here. Pull up with the Vagar 24s. Let's go. All right, we're almost at mile 3 here, crushing some hills. And here's our issue with Dr. Chad 769, the MIT chemical engineer who never was, who's all up in my comments talking about some Piba. This ain't Piba this. This ain't Piba that. All right, Dr. Chad, listen up. This is still a race foam. This is still a race foam. If this were Piba, this would have been one of the most highly anticipated shoes of the year. That's the issue with the chemical engineer thinking. And that's why the shoe is gonna be slept on. But it should not be slept on. It's bouncy, it's light, the rocker is great. It's got me cruising right now. And it has enough protection. Man, I was disrespectful in my entire overview of this shoe. And everyone out there want to talk about unbiased, they're unbiased. No, I am completely biased. When I see Brooks, I think, what are those? I do not think this is gonna be a banger. And that's my issue. I am biased. Now, once I put the shoes on my feet, that's when I give the analysis of however the shoes actually feel. But I do come into this with biases about the different brands and what they mean. Whenever I see a Puma, I want to go put up a hat trick like I'm Leonardo Messi. All right, I'm going way too fast because the shoe is just that good. So I'm gonna slow down. This is not a workout day, and I've been telling you, I gotta prioritize recovery. So I'm gonna slow it down for the next few miles, just jog it out, and maybe we can end with some pace, but I don't wanna go too hard today and be irresponsible. Do I feel like I run too much? 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 So one of the greatest masterpieces in recent American history, Get In With Me, by boss man D-Lo. He says, "This a fast car. What the heck are you driving slow for?" And when he says that, he's saying, bro, this is a Bentayga. You gotta mash the gas. You gotta put that pedal to the floor and run like you don't have a care in the world. I said run, that was a Freudian slip, but drive. And I think if boss man D-Lo, who I would probably consider a bigger runner, if he were to strap up a pair of Brooks, I think he would say, this is a fast shoe. What the heck, you running slow, follow. Yeah, I'm cruising here at probably 7:10 to 7:40 pace over the last 2 miles. We're almost halfway through, and this shoe just wants me to rip. So definitely a speed training shoe, and I think this is going to be best for those faster intervals. So we'll save some gas for some strides and see how this puppy does. And he said I'm dunking on this brother's behind like Blake Griffin. And that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there, boss man. So to revisit our earlier discussion, this is the part of the program where I'm wishing I had more stack. This shoe has been awesome for some pace, but about an hour in, that was mile 6, maybe a little bit less than an hour in, I'm feeling like I could use just a little bit more. So yes, this is a great foam, and we're ripping, or we were ripping, and we will rip once again. But this is not max cushion gang. I don't know how hot it is, but just listen to those cicadas. That's how you can tell if those cicadas are singing like that. It's at least 82 American weather, at least. And the humidity index, drippy. Gunna and little baby levels of humidity today. All right, mile 7, we are getting worked, absolutely worked by the heat. And this is a cautionary tale. Do not pull for your fastest shoe on a day where you don't have paces to hit. And this is what I always say. I'm not an expert in anything except for my own experience and the choices I make, and all the mistakes can hopefully help you. I just really wanted to test this shoe today. But in an ideal world, I would have been running in a shoe like the Ghost Max 2 or the Hurricane or the More V5. And I wanted to, but honestly, I couldn't think of a video idea to do with those shoes. So here we are with the Hyperion 2, going out way too hard, fading in the middle, and again, just talking. But this is what I want to say. If you're listening to this part, I know that you appreciate the longer videos because you did not skip to the end like a toast microwaver. And you are the person that I'm making these videos for. And sometimes it feels like people think I don't understand how YouTube works. And it's honestly a little bit insulting when they say, have you ever thought about making a second channel to put short reviews? Do you think views for the... How do I say this? Hey, I'm not the smartest guy, but I understand how things work. And if I wanted to grow by making short reviews, I would grow by making short reviews. If you grow by doing something, that's what people are gonna expect from you. So yes, it is gonna take longer to grow by doing this long format. Not everyone understands it. Not everyone likes it. Not everyone wants to watch it. I understand that. Man, how do I... Bro, all right, let me just talk. I have an Ivy League degree and an MBA. I am not thick in the head. So it is insulting when people try to come up with these business strategy ideas like I'm some ignoramus in the 6th grade who's never operated a smartphone. All right, what I'm trying to say is I'm making the long videos for the people who appreciate everything that goes in to this running journey. And I feel like I have to say this once every few weeks because it's a cycle and the comments come back around. And I also need to remind myself sometimes why I'm doing this and who I'm doing it for, and that it's okay that it's taking longer to grow. But I'm not doing this to go viral. Do I think a 90-minute video on a Brooks Ghost Max with showing random vegan food items throughout the day is gonna go viral? No, I do not think that. That is not my intention. And my intention is to build a community of people who want to put in the work, support each other, grind it out and get better. That's my intention. That's why I'm doing this. And guess what? I just got a little raise at my 9 to 5 too, which means the war chest's gonna get a little bit bigger. We dropped the hobby jogger hats. We don't have any sponsors. We're not gonna take any sponsors that we don't need. We're just gonna put in the work to give you guys quality and to help make sure that your running journey and experience is the best it can be, and that you can use running to improve your life, but hopefully not get divorced. That was mile 8. I will see you at home. Out here talking like I'm an ignoramus. Put some respect on that Columbia University in the city of New York education. Might have to pop out on them with the, well, Oxford and a boater hat. Let them know. Same high school as FDR. You know that? I went to the same high school as FDR. Out here talking like I never operated a smartphone. And Chad 769. It's disrespectful. Yeah, if you want to watch someone sit behind a desk talking about 32mm stack height, supercritical TPEE, go do that. Go do that. We have no studio lighting out here. I ain't throwing up no purple lights behind a desk. I'm talking about stack height, lightweight, responsive, engineered mesh. Bro, this is my studio. All right, we got some strides coming up. I'm trying not to talk to them every day, but the thing is, it's like whack-a-mole out here with these donkeys. A little whack-a-donkey situation. We got new donkeys popping up left and right. And I can't help myself. I can't help myself. All right, we're gonna do some strides. I'll see you at home. I love you. If you're watching this, I love you. Man, I'm really trying my best to plant kindness and gather love. It's just not working out. Every day I say I'm not gonna go and pop off and talk, but we just been talking a lot. All right, 10 miles, 7:15 pace. We came out super hot, so that was a positive split, meaning we started a lot faster and then we completely faded. It is really hot. Yeah, look at this. This sweat is literally all just from right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's check our laps today. So I finally figured out how to do this. Running performance, excellent. Told me I was fair the other. Best mile, 6:30. All right, looks like it actually accurately tracked my heart rate. Yeah, average cadence 168. And should I pop off and start talking about cadence again? Disrespectful little boys out here talking about some 180 and whatever cadence it takes to run. All right. So, yeah, we came out 7:33, 6:55, 6:36, 6:59, 7:16, 7:19, 7:39, 7:32, 7:13. And then last mile. Oh, no, that wasn't a mile. These are laps. All right, then we hit our strides here. I just did 3 strides, 5:32 pace, 5:56 pace, 5:23, and that felt effective. And that's what I always say. Do you do these things until they don't feel that they're effective anymore? That's the benefit of being your own coach and not having to follow a rigid structured plan. Even if you are following a rigid structured plan, if that plan says do 5 by 1 mile and you get to mile 3 and you say, man, I feel like I'm done. I feel like if I do another mile, it's going to be a bigger injury risk than benefit. Then you call it, right? So that's what I did. The 3 strides were just get a little bit of turnover. And on that third one, I said, man, I'm still feeling sore. I am not recovered from that 25-mile day Wednesday. I went out too hot today. It is extremely hot and humid, so I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it and be smart. Unlike these disrespectful little boys in the comments trying to give me some business strategy advice. Man, my advice for you and all the toast microwavers out there, sit down and enjoy the free content. This is free. This is free game. Out here complaining about video length, bro. How many dollars have you paid me? 0. Shout out to all the real ones who watch all the way through, or just who it's not even, and this is the thing, it's not even about watching all the way through. I know people are busy. I'm hoping that this can be treated like a podcast. You can have it on in the background whenever you need a little bit of zhuzh when you're working or vacuuming the house or whatever, but I just hope people can appreciate what I'm doing and the fact that we're dropping every day, and hopefully that can motivate you to do something in your life every day. So when I get negative like this, like I have been in the past week, I don't like doing it. It's just, this is what I was trying to say yesterday. This is just how I'm really feeling. That's how those comments make me feel, and I don't want to hide how I'm feeling. And that's the benefit of coming every day. I can give you my real thoughts. So I appreciate everyone who watches, even if you skip to the end. And I know that's a lot of people out there, but I'm hoping you can also take what I'm doing here and have something from it be useful to you other than me saying this is a good speed training shoe. Because if I only wanted to tell you about the speed training shoe and how it was good, I would make a 5-minute video. I wouldn't do any of the steps, shenanigans, and try to put a smile on your face and try to show you what goes into running 100 miles a week. I would just run in the shoe, sit down in the office, turn the ring light on, and say Brooks Hyperion 2 Supercritical TPE EVA blend. It's a little softer than the Brooks Hyperion Max. It's a little bit more forgiving. If you like the Saucony Endorphin Elite and the Adios Pro 3, this might be a good shoe for you. Bang, I'm never going to run this shoe again. 10 miles, call it a full review. That's not what I stand for, man. That's not what I stand for. You guys know what I stand for. In the words of Big Za, stand on straight business. Let's get to the breakdown, man. I'm going to shower. We're going to pop out here and talk, speak some knowledge. This is a top button day. $32 minus 10 is 22. That was 22 ounces of consumption right there. Order your electrolytes. This is the noon. I believe this is the tropical flavor. Order your electrolytes through my Running Warehouse link to support the channel. We got 10 miles in the Brooks Hyperion 2. This might be the best speed training shoe in 2024 that I've tested, and there's not too many more coming out that are gonna compete with this. I think the Adios 9 might be the last one that I haven't tested that could compete with this. So now when I say speed training, what does that mean? It means it's a shoe that's designed especially to run fast, or specialized for fast running. So when you think about the plated trainers, the Hyperion Max 2, the Boston 12s, even I put the Topo Spectre 2 in that category. It's not a plated shoe, but it's a marathon training or distance training shoe that is designed for some speed capability. So maybe tempo style runs, longer, fast runs, half marathon pace, marathon pace. This guy right here, this is specialized for shorter than that. 10K pace, interval training, fast repeats. That's where this guy is going to shine. And so we did those 10 miles today, and first 3 miles, I came out of the gates pretty hot. I think 7 flat, 740, 730. Let's throw it up here. And it was not a pretty run. We came out too hot, had to pull it down because this is not a speed day. This is supposed to be a recovery day. And I came out a lot faster than I should have, and I'm probably going to be paying for it. Well, I probably won't be paying for it because I have 2 days to recover, but this is everything I've been talking about recently. We need to run the runs as they are prescribed. I'm not trying to be a hero and run faster than my everyday pace just because I don't have a long run for 2 days. I need to recover so that I can hammer that Sunday run as fast as it needs to be. So that's a little bit on the training, but on the shoe, this thing was amazing for running 650, 630 pace. As I said earlier, if you like the Saucony Endorphin Elite, if you like the Adidas Adios Pro 3, if you like those little bit faster, firmer, more structured shoes, if you like the Brooks Hyperion Max 2 or the Adidas Boston 12, you are going to love this for shorter, faster runs. Compared to the Rebel V4, this is a little bit firmer. Compared to the Hoka Mach 6, this feels a little bit more connected to the ground. And the Mach 6, I'd put even maybe in more of a daily trainer category, but this thing was great for running fast, top end speed. So it's got a nice rocker here. It's got a little bit of a firmer foam in the DNA Flash, but it doesn't feel too low. It doesn't feel too punishing. Yes, you still have a little bit of that connection, but it has just enough stack where it didn't feel like my feet were slamming the ground. So let's go through the 3 questions that we use to evaluate the shoes. How does it compare to its intended purpose, or how does it stack up to its intended? How does it live up to its intended purpose? That's the first question. How does it do versus the other shoes in its category? And how does it do versus everything else on the market? So first, let's talk about intended purpose. This is supposed to be a lightweight, fast shoe. It absolutely crushes it at that. 220 grams, that's as light as a lot of the race shoes out there, and you still get a decently wide base, and you still get enough foam in the forefoot to feel protected while having a lot of rubber. I think this is going to be a very durable shoe, and the Brooks shoes are. So compared to its intended purpose, this thing absolutely knocked it out of the park, and it actually did better than I was thinking. You guys heard me. I was sleeping on the shoe. I said, I don't think it's going to blow me away. I think it's going to be a 5 to a 7 or whatever. I said 5 to an 8. And the reason why it was so much better than I anticipated, because this new version of foam that Brooks has is great. I said it in the Hyperion Elite review I did earlier this year. I said it in the Hyperion Max 2 video. All of the Brooks shoes I've tested, whether they have the DNA Flash, which this is, or the DNA Loft, have been great. Brooks is on top of their game right now when it comes to the foams, and this is one of the best implementations, if not the best implementation, of the DNA Flash. It's absolutely perfect in here, because with this stack height, you're not gonna want a super tall chunk of it. Because with this stack height, this foam can shine, this foam can thrive, it can live its best life, because any taller than this, and while this is not the firmest foam, but having it be just a little bit firmer than something like in the Rebel or the Mach 6, if you have that tall stack, it's gonna feel what I'm trying to say is with this stack of foam here, a little bit higher density, meaning more protective, means that you can have less of the foam to still give a decent amount of protection. So this is gonna be a great shoe for bigger runners. I think this is the best speed shoe that I have tried for bigger runners, the best non-plated speed shoe for that fast end speed that's gonna give you, or top end speed that's gonna give you that connected feel, that's gonna have that lightweight feel. 220 grams is very light, and it still has enough protection for me to go 10 miles. I would not want to go any longer than that, and there were times in that run where I felt maybe I could use a little bit more stack, but there's just enough in here for you to get away with doing an hour-long or 90-minute run and be fine. So intended purpose, lightweight, fast, knocks it out of the park. Foam is great. How does it do versus everything else on the market? A little bit denser, a little bit firmer than the Rebels, than the Mach 6s, than the Cyclone 2s, and surprisingly, a little bit more protective. I thought this was gonna be a firm, harsh, punishing ride, but it's not. And for me, at 6'2", 160, putting down that 7 flat and faster pace, it really came alive. It didn't feel too firm. It felt perfect. It felt like non-plated Light Strike Pro. That's really what this foam feels like, and that makes sense because supercritical TPEE, like we have in here, that is what Light Strike Pro is. Now, yes, of course, there's some ethylene vinyl acetate in here, so you got the Dr. Chad 769s of the world getting all up in arms because there's ethylene vinyl acetate. Don't listen to the Dr. Chads, okay? Listen to the fool with the boater hat on telling you that this is a banger. If you are a bigger runner or put down more force or like a slightly firmer ride, this is gonna be great for speed training. And it's not a firm shoe, but it is firmer than the Mach 6, it is firmer than the Rebel V4, it is firmer than the SL2, but with that comes a really nice platform for towing off here, for gripping and ripping, and for feeling like you wanna run fast. This is the type of shoe, this and the Hyperion Max 2, man, I put these shoes on, man, that's a nice life, huh? Just cruising around the neighborhood in the golf cart. Meanwhile, I'm out here sweating through my Oxford. Do you see this? Do you see this? This is why I do the breakdown shirtless. Because I'm sweating through the Oxford, but we had to let him know. Little boy's getting disrespectful, talking about some business strategy, bro. You don't even know what a boater is. Man's haven't put in work since their mom told him to do some chores. Man, little boy's getting disrespectful. How does it compare to the other shoes in its category? Faster. This feels faster. This feels the fastest out of any of those shoes because of the foam and the geometry and the stack. I'm not sure what the drop is here. I'm guessing it's 6 millimeters. I'm gonna throw it up here so I can either look like a genius or a fool, but it doesn't feel too high. It feels completely dialed in, and I'm not sure if the rocker really looks that big on screen, but when you're running fast, it is just so dialed in for pushing you along. So much faster feeling than anything else on the market. It also does feel a little bit more specialized. So compared to the SL2, and we'll have to do a head-to-head, SL2 is my favorite do-it-all shoe that's not $220, and people always ask me, why isn't the Skyward X your favorite do-it-all shoe? Because I'm not gonna say my $220 shoe is my favorite. So this is $140, roughly the same price as the SL2, that's $130, $10 difference. This is more specialized. This feels like a fast shoe. The SL2, I did a 23-mile long run in. This, I probably could do that. I did a 23-mile long run in the Rebel as well, but I'm now using my long runs to seriously train for Chicago, so I'm not gonna be doing any shenanigans just to prove the Tims and the Toms that I have strong ankles. I am gonna be running in the race shoes or the Super Blasts of the world or the tall stack protective shoes on my long runs because that's what I feel the most confident in to run fast and put down marathon pace, feeling protective and smooth. So I'm not gonna do a long run test with this. Next video, maybe I would do a double day test. I wanna take this to probably track workout, which I have, or track style workout, which I don't think I have another one for 2 to 3 weeks, because my next midweek Daniels workout is an absolutely disgusting monster session that we'll get to that one next week. But this feels more specialized than anything else in the category. It feels faster, but it does still feel protective. So if you are running shorter distances, if you're not running high volume, if you're maybe high school or college, this could be a fun tempo shoe or daily trainer, similar to how people use the Rebel. If you daily the Rebel, you could daily this. But for me, or for anyone else running higher volume, if you're into shoes like the Pegasus or the Cloud Monster or the Nimbus, and I know those are all slightly different shoes, but those types of daily trainers, this is going to be a little bit too low stack. Even something like the Pegasus, I think, feels a little bit more protective than this. The ride on this is way more fun and way faster than the Pegasus, but this is still a little bit of a lighter, not the most protective shoe compared to the market. So specialized, faster, lower, leaner, meaner, and cleaner. This is a sick looking color, and I mean, look at this. This just looks like the best speed training shoe. Man, stop sleeping on Brooks. That might have to be my next clickbait video. PSA, stop sleeping on Brooks. All right, question number 3. Hold on. We gotta chug the rest of these. Man, that's 32 ounces of liquid in, what was that, 11 minutes? These disrespectful little boys, they're not even hydrating. They're thirsty. Thirsty for some clout. Chase miles, not clout, baby. All right, how does this compare to everything else on the market? Versus the category, it's lighter, faster, and more specialized. And versus the market, it's lighter, faster, and more specialized. And that's why I wanted to bring the Asics Super Blast into the conversation. This is a shoe that a lot of people love as that do-it-all option. And let's not even talk about price. Yes, it's $200, but that's not what I want to bring into this conversation right now. I want to talk about the stack and the protection and the capability of this shoe, or a shoe like this. This is a stand-in for Boston 12, Spectre 2, Skyward X, any of these taller shoes. So for me personally, if I were not testing these shoes all the time, and it's another day where I can't quite dial in, the sun is just blazing. But if I were not testing these shoes all the time, I would likely be pulling for a shoe like this for the majority of my runs. Now, we do know that having a rotation, having more than one shoe, switching between different types of shoes is the second best thing we can do to prevent injury. The first best thing is hitting the gym, and I don't do that, so I don't have any ground to stand on there. I do run hills, so run some dang hills, crush some dang hills, all right? But what I would do is likely rotate a shoe like the Super Blast with a shoe like the Hyperion 2. And this would be a great rotation. Super Blast or Super Blast 2 with the Hyperion 2, or Topo Spectre 2 with the Hyperion 2, or something like Boston 12 with the Mach 6. Now that's not the lowest, but a more built up shoe with a lighter weight shoe, and you could have, this could be a great 2-shoe rotation if you like the way the Super Blast feels for relaxed miles. I do not, but if you do, this would be a good rotation. You could have something like the Super Blast for those longer miles, for those days where you're just thinking about crushing some distance, and then when you really want to let it fly, that's where you have the Hyperion 2. And the key benefit of this shoe is not that it feels fast, because you can get that from a race shoe. You can get that from the Endorphin Elite. You can get that from the Adios Pro 3. The key benefit is not even that it's durable or more durable than the shoes, because the race shoes are pretty durable. The key benefit is not even that there's no plate in here. I don't know why that would be a benefit, but some people buy shoes just because they have plates or don't have plates. There's no reason for that. This is as rigid or more rigid than a lot of plated shoes. So it doesn't matter that it has a plate or it doesn't have a plate. That's some mental gymnastics right there. It doesn't matter that this is non-plated. The key benefit of the shoe is that proprioception. Let's throw it up on the screen. What does that mean? That means the feeling of being connected to the ground or in control of our body. Basically, think of an awkward teenager not knowing where their limbs are and knocking things around. That's the opposite of what you should be thinking about when you hear the word proprioception. It means feeling. Simone Biles. Drop a bomb on Simone Biles. Simone Biles has great proprioception, very in control, connected. Gymnasts, they're not out there doing triple backflips on the floor routine in a pair of Super Blast, right? Simone Biles is barefoot mafia. Trippy, man. This shoe is gonna allow you to feel more connected to the ground, a little bit more in control, and there is some benefit of using a shoe like this for the fast top end speed, because that's the exact purpose of running 5K pace, of running 1 mile race pace within marathon training. It's so that we develop that efficiency. It's so that we develop better running economy. We feel more in control of our body. And so that when we slow down the pace to half marathon pace, even everyday running pace, those paces, we're a little bit less clumsy. We're a little bit less awkward. We're a little bit more efficient. We're a little bit more locked in with our mechanics. That's what this is for. That's what a speed training shoe like the Hyperion 2 is for. Developing good mechanics. Getting better as a runner. It's a tool. It's a tool for the development of speed as a skill. That's what this is for, and it's one of the best shoes I've tested this year, if not the best at that. It feels connected. It has just enough protection for me to run 10 miles in it, and boy, did this thing make me run irresponsibly fast for the first 3 miles today. That is all I have for you today. We're gonna do more testing on the Hyperion 2. If you want the short videos, unsubscribe. For everyone else, I love you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Go educate yourself. We're rocking the Boater, we're rocking the Oxford. Get your miles up and crush some dang hills.